Have you ever wondered if some of your daily habits are quietly taking years off your life? You might think you have a good handle on your routine, but there are hidden dangers in the choices we make every day, especially after 60. You may already know that staying up late is not great for your health. But did you know it is not even the most damaging habit for folks in their 60s or 70s? In fact, the #1 life-shortening habit is something most people never expect. In this video, we are going to explore 5 common habits that can silently steal your health and even shorten your lifespan if you are over 60. From the obvious to the truly surprising, I will walk you through each one, explain the science behind how it affects your body and mind, and share real-life stories that make these lessons stick. Stick with me until the end, because understanding these 5 habits might not only protect your health, but could also give you back the vibrant, energetic life you deserve. If you care about your future, your independence, and the time you get to spend with those you love, you cannot afford to ignore these powerful insights. Let's get started. Measure 1: prolonged sitting and physical inactivity. For many people over 60, it's easy to think of retirement as a time to finally relax and take it easy. But one of the most dangerous habits that can sneak up on you is spending too much time sitting. Long hours on the recliner, watching television, reading, or even enjoying long chats with friends can be comforting. But when movement becomes rare, your health can suffer in ways you may not notice until it's too late. Years of research have shown that prolonged sitting is directly linked to a shorter lifespan. When you spend much of your day inactive, your muscles weaken, your blood flow slows, and your risk for heart disease, diabetes, and even certain cancers rises. But the biggest surprise for many seniors is the impact on brain health. Sitting too long can cause blood to pool in your legs and lower body, making it harder for oxygen and nutrients to reach your brain. This over time can lead to foggy thinking, memory loss, and even a greater risk of developing dementia. Think about your typical day. Do you find yourself sitting through long stretches? Maybe only getting up for meals or quick chores? It might seem harmless, especially if you have some aches and pains, but the toll this takes on your body adds up year after year. Inactivity weakens your bones, drains your energy, and can make even small tasks feel overwhelming as time goes on. Let me share an example. Robert is 72 and has always loved a good detective novel. After retiring, he spent most of his days reading in his favorite armchair, rarely leaving the house unless he had to. At first, he enjoyed the peace, but within a couple of years, he started to notice that his legs felt weaker. He was out of breath more often, and he felt tired all day long. His doctor explained that the simple act of sitting too much was quietly eroding his strength and overall health. When Robert made a point to get up every hour, take short walks around the block, and even do a little light gardening, his energy slowly came back. His mood improved, and he felt years younger. It's not about running marathons or hitting the gym every day. Even gentle movement like walking to the mailbox, stretching in the morning, or dancing to your favorite tune in the kitchen keeps your blood flowing and your mind sharp. The key is to break up those long periods of sitting with any activity you enjoy. If you want to protect your lifespan and keep your independence, avoid the habit of prolonged sitting. Small changes today can bring you years of better living tomorrow. Measure 2: chronic negativity and emotional isolation. As we move through our 60s and 70s, it's easy to underestimate the effect our thoughts and emotions can have on our overall health and lifespan. Many people know that negative thinking is not exactly good for your mood, but few realize that a habit of chronic negativity and emotional isolation can actually shave years off your life. You might not feel lonely in the classic sense, but the constant weight of worry, resentment, or hopelessness can silently take a toll on your heart, your immune system, and even your brain. Science is clear on this. Folks who consistently view life through a negative lens, or who feel cut off from meaningful relationships, have a higher risk of everything from high blood pressure to dementia and even early death. When you dwell on regrets, hold grudges, or replay the same anxious thoughts day after day, your body stays stuck in a state of stress. Over time, this floods your system with hormones that raise inflammation, damage blood vessels, and sap your energy. The danger is that most people get so used to these patterns, they stop noticing the harm until it shows up in their health. Let me tell you about Helen, who is 68. After losing her husband, she found herself pulling away from friends and family, convinced that nobody understood what she was going through. At first, the solitude felt safe, but as weeks turned to months, Helen's world got smaller. Her sleep suffered, and she lost interest in even the things she once loved. When her daughter encouraged her to join a community group for widows and take up a simple painting class, Helen was hesitant. But after a few months, her laughter returned. Her energy improved, and her blood pressure dropped back into a healthy range. What made the difference was not just being busy, but reconnecting with others and opening herself up to hope and new friendships. Sometimes negativity and isolation come not from loss, but from long-held patterns. Maybe you find yourself criticizing the news, complaining about aches and pains, or focusing on what you cannot do instead of what you can. Over the years, these habits can quietly narrow your world and dim your sense of possibility. And for many, this becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Less social engagement leads to more health problems, and those problems make it even harder to reach out. If you recognize any of these patterns in your own life, remember that you have the power to change them. Start small. Make a phone call to an old friend, join a club or faith group, or simply take a few minutes each day to list things you're grateful for. Even these tiny steps can spark a chain reaction that lifts your mood, lowers your stress, and extends your life. Emotional health is as important as physical health, especially after 60. By breaking the habit of chronic negativity and reaching out for meaningful connections, you are not just adding years to your life, you are making those years richer and more fulfilling. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Measure 3, mindless snacking on processed foods. One habit that often slips under the radar for many people in their 60s and 70s is the simple act of mindless snacking, especially on highly processed foods. It's not uncommon to reach for a bag of chips, cookies, crackers, or even sweetened cereals when you feel peckish between meals. These snacks are easy, convenient, and they offer a brief sense of comfort. But what many do not realize is how this small, repeated habit can add up to serious damage over time, robbing you of both your energy and your lifespan. Highly processed snacks are usually packed with added sugars, unhealthy fats, sodium, and artificial flavors or preservatives. All of these ingredients make the food taste good and last longer on the shelf, but they come at a high cost to your health. The body, especially as it ages, is not as efficient at breaking down and recovering from the constant barrage of chemicals and empty calories found in processed foods. Over time, regular snacking on these items can contribute to chronic inflammation, weight gain, high blood pressure, and even a greater risk of developing type 2 diabetes or heart disease. But the danger goes beyond just physical health. Studies now show that what you eat also affects your brain. Processed foods loaded with sugar and unhealthy fats can impair memory, slow down thinking, and even contribute to feelings of anxiety or depression. These foods spike your blood sugar quickly and then drop it just as fast, leading to energy crashes and mood swings. For seniors who want to keep their minds sharp and their days lively, mindless snacking can be a hidden threat that quietly chips away at quality of life. Let me give you an example. Thomas, who was 74, always thought of himself as a healthy eater at mealtime. He enjoyed home-cooked dinners and plenty of vegetables, but he also had a habit of munching on cheese crackers and store-bought pastries throughout the day. He didn't think much of it, since they seemed harmless and easy to grab. But after a couple of years, Thomas noticed his energy waning. His doctor found his cholesterol creeping up, and he started struggling to keep his weight steady. When he replaced most of his packaged snacks with fresh fruit, raw nuts, and whole grain options, he found his cravings disappeared. His mind felt clearer, and his blood work improved at his next checkup. The challenge for many people is that mindless snacking is so easy to fall into, especially when you're watching television or feeling a little bored. One handful leads to another, and before you know it, a whole bag is gone. The habit forms quietly, but the consequences become clearer with every passing year. To avoid this life-shortening trap, keep your kitchen stocked with wholesome choices, cut vegetables, a bowl of berries, unsalted nuts, or even plain yogurt. Keep processed foods as the rare treat, not the daily routine. Not only will you likely live longer, but your body will thank you with more energy and clearer thinking as you age. Measure 4. Irregular sleep patterns and staying up late. One of the most overlooked but damaging habits for seniors is irregular sleep, especially the tendency to stay up late night after night. Many people think that sleep becomes less important with age, or they believe that it's normal to sleep poorly after 60. But the truth is, the quality and consistency of your sleep have a profound effect on your health and your lifespan, no matter how old you are. When you consistently go to bed late or your sleep schedule is unpredictable, your body's internal clock gets out of sync. This disrupts the natural rhythm that controls everything, from hormone production to appetite, memory, and even your immune system. The effects might not show up right away, but over months and years, irregular sleep can quietly steal your energy, weaken your heart, and make your mind foggier. In fact, some researchers now link poor sleep with a greater risk of developing dementia and other chronic illnesses. Staying up late often leads to more hours of artificial light exposure, like watching television or using a smartphone in bed, which can further suppress the release of melatonin, the hormone that tells your body it's time to sleep. When your body doesn't get enough restful, deep sleep, it cannot repair tissues, consolidate memories, or properly regulate blood sugar and blood pressure. This over time leaves you feeling exhausted during the day and more vulnerable to infections, falls, and even depression. Let me share a story about Linda, who is 66. She always considered herself a night owl, loving the peace and quiet that came after everyone else was in bed. At first, she enjoyed those late hours reading or catching up on television shows. But after a couple of years, she noticed her mornings felt sluggish. She needed more coffee to get going, and her memory wasn't what it used to be. Her doctor suggested setting a regular bedtime and creating a soothing nighttime routine, such as dimming the lights and avoiding screens an hour before sleep. Linda resisted at first, but after a few weeks, she found she was falling asleep more easily, waking up refreshed, and even feeling less anxious. Sleep is not just about rest. It is when your body does its most important repair work. When you get enough sleep, usually between 7 and 8 hours a night for most seniors, you strengthen your heart, support your immune system, and boost your mood and mental sharpness. Skipping this step can accelerate aging and make it much harder to recover from everyday illnesses or stress. If you want to live longer and enjoy your years to the fullest, make sleep a top priority. Try to keep a regular bedtime. Create a calming routine and keep your bedroom as dark and quiet as possible. Avoid caffeine or heavy meals late in the evening and give yourself the gift of deep, restorative rest. Even a small improvement in your sleep habits can lead to big rewards in energy and well-being. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Measure 5, neglecting preventive health checkups. Surprisingly, the number 1 life-shortening habit for people in their 60s and 70s is not what most would expect. More than any single behavior, neglecting regular health checkups and screenings can quietly put your well-being at serious risk. After all, even the healthiest routines can be undone by a single undetected illness. Preventive care is the cornerstone of long life and vitality. Yet it is also one of the first things many people let slide as they age. There are many reasons why seniors avoid going to the doctor. Maybe you feel fine, dislike medical visits, or are simply too busy with other commitments. But skipping those routine checkups means missing the chance to catch health problems early when they are easiest to treat. Conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, certain cancers, and even glaucoma or hearing loss can develop silently over months or years. By the time symptoms appear, treatment can be harder and recovery longer. Think about how easy it is to shrug off a reminder letter from your healthcare provider or put off a routine test until next year. You might tell yourself that you know your body best, or that you'd rather not worry about something that might never happen. But these quiet choices can add up. The truth is, most life-threatening illnesses in seniors are most treatable when discovered early through routine screening. Let me give you an example. David, aged 70, was always active and proud of rarely getting sick. He figured he didn't need to see his doctor unless he felt unwell. But when he finally went in for a checkup at his wife's urging, the doctor found his blood pressure was sky high, and he was already developing signs of early kidney trouble. With a few changes in medication and lifestyle, David was able to avoid serious complications, but he later admitted that the regular checkup likely saved his life. Beyond physical health, preventive checkups include screenings for depression, memory loss, and other mental health concerns that are often overlooked but play a major role in quality of life. Your healthcare provider can also advise on vaccines, nutrition, vision and hearing care, and other simple steps that can make your later years not just longer, but richer and more independent. If you want to avoid unnecessary suffering and make the most of every year, do not let fear, stubbornness, or simple forgetfulness keep you from your preventive visits. Keep a calendar of your appointments. Talk openly with your providers about any changes you notice, and bring a loved one for support if needed. Regular checkups are not just a chore. They are a gift to your future self and those who care about you. By building the habit of preventive healthcare, you give yourself the best possible shot at a long, healthy, and fulfilling life. Final thoughts. As we close today's video, I hope you feel empowered by what you've learned. Were you surprised by any of the habits on this list? Which of these do you see in your own life? And which one are you most motivated to change? Remember, no matter your age, it is never too late to make a positive difference. Each small step you take can add up to a longer, healthier, and more vibrant life. One where you get to enjoy more time with the people and activities that matter most. The message today is simple. You have the power to rewrite your own story by breaking these 5 life-shortening habits. Whether it's getting up and moving more often, reaching out for connection, choosing wholesome foods, prioritizing sleep, or keeping up with preventive checkups, you are giving yourself the greatest gift of all. Health is not just about living longer, but about filling your days with meaning, energy, and joy. If any of these habits felt familiar, start with just one small change this week. Reach out to a friend, swap out a processed snack for something fresh, set a regular bedtime, or schedule that checkup you've been putting off. Every little improvement builds your confidence and brings you closer to the life you want. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.